everyone, and welcome to the 3 by the Sea Designs YouTube channel. My name is Kim, and this podcast is all about the 3 by the Sea Designs life that I'm living here with my mom, Dreama, and my sister, Becky. We have a shop where we sell handmade things for knitters and crocheters. We have hand-dyed yarn and project bags and stitch markers and progress keepers. And this podcast is a knitting podcast primarily, where I talk about things that I'm working on and finished objects. We also talk about shop news. I show things that we have in our shop or that we're bringing to our shop. We do collections a few times a year. And so I show yarn, project bags, stitch markers, and occasionally I get up to other things as well. I actually have some crochet and cross stitch to show you guys today. I've been so inspired by some other makers and podcasters lately, so I pulled out all my cross stitch projects and I wanted to show them to you today. So, thank you so much for joining me. I think I said my name is Kim, hopefully. Today is Wednesday, September 27th, 2023. I am sitting in my workspace again today in my home. We live right outside of Tampa in Florida in the United States. And I have quite a bit to show you today. I don't even know who I am right now because I have 4 finished objects. That might be a record for me to show that many in the same episode. I don't think I've ever had 4 finished, including one that I'm wearing. I'll talk about that in just a moment. I am using this microphone that I got. I finally figured out how to get it to work. I apologize up front if it sounds bad or if I accidentally hit it. I've played around with it a little bit and tested it out, and it seems okay. So I'm going to try this podcast with it. But if it doesn't sound good, or if, I don't know, if anything goes wrong with it, I may not continue to use it. I just wanted to try it out because sometimes the audio can sound a little bit funny. And literally as I was sitting down to record, the yard people came. So I had to pause and go get a coffee. It always happens that way. As soon as you sit down to do something happens. But that's okay, because I wanted to show you this coffee mug that I got at Target a couple weeks ago. It says Magic Potion, which is so true because coffee is literally the magic potion that gets me going for the day and throughout the day. I hope you have something yummy to drink, whether it's coffee or tea or whatever, water, wine, any of that. And grab your projects that you're working on and let's have a chat. Like I said, I have so much to show you and talk about. I'm not sure where to begin. Let me look at my notes. Yes, so I have 4 finished objects. I do have some shop news to talk about. I have some whips. And last episode, I told you guys that I was going to talk about my Advent from last year, which is right over my shoulder. I don't know if you can see it. I do have one acquisition, I think just one, that my mom gave me. So let's start with what I'm wearing. I have on the Rocket Tee by Tanis Fiber Arts. I used, so this top, you use a skein of fingering weight yarn and you use a skein of either some type of lace weight like mohair or Surrey alpaca. You could use 2 fingering weight and stripe them if you wanted to. Their possibilities are pretty endless with this. But I'm happy with it for the most part, except I do think I made it a little too big. I was trying to look at the measurements that I used. Yeah. Okay, so I made a size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't really know what I was thinking. So I made a size 6, which is a 48-inch bust. It's supposed to be a little big. It's not supposed to be like extremely tight. In fact, the positive ease in it is 6 inches. And I also went up a needle size. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. And when I was making it, I was like, this looks a little big, but things always look bigger when you're making them, to me at least anyway. Let me just stand up and show it to you. I made it a couple inches longer than pattern calls for, which is fine. That's not my issue. Let me start with things I love about the pattern. I love the neckline, the sleeve edging, as well as the edging around the bottom is all I-cord, which I love. It takes forever to do it that way, but it's very, very worth the time. I also love the stripes of it. You could, I did tone on tone, so I used the same 2 colors in like a sage green color that I dyed specifically, well, not specifically for this, but I dyed this a couple years ago. So I love the stripes. I love how casual it is. I love the detail on the sides, even though I do think that was annoying. I don't know that I would do that again if I made this again. I like the look of the detail, but I don't know if I would. I might omit that from the pattern next time. The things that I'm not happy with are mainly my fault because I don't know what I was thinking making this size. So I made a 48-inch. My bust size is 46. But the one below that was a 44. And it has 6 inches of positive ease. So what I should have done is made the size down, but still gone up the needle size. But I shouldn't have gone up a needle size. So it recommends a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter. And I think I used a 6. Pretty sure I used a 6. So I don't know at the time what I was thinking. Well, I know what I was thinking. I was thinking I'm in between the sizes. I'm in between a 44 and a 48 because I'm a 46 bust. But I don't know why I continued to go up in like the needle size. I don't know why I did that. Oh, so it's okay. I still love it. It's still super comfortable. I would totally make this again. In fact, I want to make it again now in the smaller size. And I may even, because it has that 6 inches of positive ease, I may go with the smaller size, which would be the 44, and use the recommended needle size and just see what happens. Because you can't shrink your projects. Like if you make something too big, unless it's socks that you can kind of toss in the dryer, if it's with superwash merino, you can't really shrink your garments. And do you really want to gamble with trying that, even if you could? At least I don't know of a way to. So I would rather it be a little bit too small so I could block it out and stretch it out a little bit than it be too big and me not be able to shrink it down. So I'm still very happy with it. I enjoyed the process of it, which is equally as important as your finished product. I need to do a better job of maybe swatching or figuring out, because if you're going to spend this time making a garment, you want it to fit and you want it to look nice. So I'm happy with it, except for the fact that it's just a little bit too big. I tend to think that I need to make things bigger than I actually do. I did that on another project too. I can't remember which one it was, but so I need to be a little more mindful of that when I'm starting a garment. Let's talk a little bit of shop news. We updated our shop, our Etsy shop, on Saturday, September 9th with our new fall collection of new project bags, yarn, and stitch markers. And you guys showed up and completely blew us away. You guys really seemed to love this collection. Most things sold out. There are a few things here and there, bits and bobs of yarn that I want to show you. There's still lots of stitch markers and progress keepers as well that are fall, and we have some really fun Halloween ones in the shop, so definitely check those out. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of the yarn that we have left. And like I said, there might be one or two. I don't think we have any sweaters quantities of anything except for maybe weathered wood. So I'm just going to briefly go through the yarn that we have left. I think we have only one or two of our Candy Cauldron mini sets left on DK. The fingering weight did sell out. So a couple of these left on DK. We have, let's see. We have two pink sapphires left on Sanibel, which is our fingering weight 75-25 superwash merino nylon, and we have one or two left of pink sapphire on our gold Stellina base, which is our Amelia base. This one's super cute. We have chocolate raspberry truffle fingering sock sets on Sanibel. I think we have 3 left. I keep looking over here because that's where all the yarn is. So that one is such a beautiful sock set. Do we have any singles? We must have one left. I think we only have 1 or 2 of the same base, but singles instead of a sock set. We have a couple of October Garden sold out like super fast, but we do have a few left on DK weight singles. Do we have any sock sets? No. We only have DK singles left, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5. So you actually could get a sweater's quantity of these, or a larger quantity. I don't know about enough for a sweater, but you could. You could pair it with our satchel on Destin as well. We have a couple of these left too. We have satchel on mohair. I want to do something with this. This is so pretty. We have weathered wood, not weathered wood. We have Old Red Barn with a sock set with our weathered wood minis. This is our DK weight. I think the fingering weight, we may have one left on fingering weight. And then this is what I was saying about weathered wood. So Sanibel base. I dyed extra of weathered wood, which is probably why we have a little bit left. We may have it across all the bases, except maybe... Go check the website, because our shop's Etsy shop, because I'm pretty sure we have this across all of the bases still. But look at it with our St. Augustine base, which is our Surrey Alpaca Silk blend. That would be so gorgeous together. And we have it on Destin DK. It looks really pretty with weathered wood. This is what, I'm sorry, with Old Red Barn. This is on our Amelia Gold Stellina base. You could mix these two bases. You could have one Stellina and one regular. Weathered wood looks pretty with pink sapphire. It looks pretty with chocolate raspberry truffle. And of course with Old Red Barn. I already said that one. I don't know that I would pair it with October Garden. But in the right project, you could definitely do that. But I would definitely pair, you could pair Old Red Barn with weathered wood. I'm sorry, with satchel. I can't talk today. So we still have lots in the shop. Oh, I forgot to show this. We have a couple of bejeweled, yes, of bejeweled sock sets on our DK base, which comes with the two minis. Everything else sold out. That's pretty much it for the yarn. You guys really wiped us out, which we love, of course, and are so grateful and thankful. Thank you guys so much for really showing up and wiping us clean. It was so awesome. We spent the last 2 weeks basically fulfilling orders. I also, we had a bunch of pre-orders that we had to do from the month before for Spooky Soiree and for our mystery sock set, which I'm not going to show this time, but I will show it next time, in case, because there's a couple of people who still haven't gotten theirs, but I will show it next time with a spoiler, of course. But if you've gotten yours, feel free to show it. No worries about that. So anyway, so we've been busy between the update and the Spooky Soiree pre-orders and the mystery sock set, the Haunted Mansion, Grim Grinning Ghosts. It's been a busy month. So I don't know how I was able to finish 4 things. I think it was just right at the tail end of all of those, and it just worked out good. But yeah, it's been a busy month. I'm really looking forward to slowing down a little bit the last few days of September and just enjoying some downtime. We are going to restock some things in October, probably, in the first half of October, so it'll be soon. We're going to restock Fairy Ring because that sold out within an hour, maybe, not even. Fairy Ring is a beautiful speckled tonal mushroom colored with brown speckles. It's gorgeous. We're going to restock the bejeweled mini sets. I don't know if we'll restock them on Stellina, but we will definitely restock them on the fingering weight. And we're also bringing back Fireside, which is a colorway that we dyed earlier this year. I'll put a picture up of it. And it's a perfect color for fall. it was meant to be a camping inspired colorway, and it just has all of the same colors as fall. So it's perfect for this time of year, and it goes really well with satchel. It would most likely go with weathered wood, and I definitely think it'll go with fairy ring. So far those are the 3 that we know for sure that we want to bring back. We haven't finalized our plans yet, but we're getting ready to do that, and then I will let you guys know for sure on the next podcast. If you did order a mystery sock set for the Haunted Mansion, you probably already got it if you're in the United States, because we started shipping those out last week. This week we've started shipping out the pre-orders for Spooky Soiree. So if you ordered that, or you ordered both of them, you'll be getting them all very soon. Everything is pretty much out the door as of today and tomorrow, including orders from the shop. So if you've ordered from us up until a couple days ago, then your orders are getting sent out to you, because we wanted everybody to have everything just in time for October. It really feels like fall, feels like Halloween's coming, and we wanted you to have all of your goodies. A lot of you have been ordering Halloween stitch markers and progress keepers lately, which is so fun. So we wanted you all to have them right away. So we've been sending everything out. So enjoy them. Thank you guys so much for your support of our business and supporting this podcast, and just all of your wonderful comments and being involved with us. We had so much fun on the live that we did here on YouTube. It's just been great. It's been such a fun collection. It's been fun watching you guys using all of your goodies and being excited about everything. We can't wait to see what you all make with all of the new yarn. So tag us on Instagram, tag us on Facebook, and or use the hashtag 3bythesea designs, and so we can see all of your things that you're working on, or your happy mail, or just all of that. We got some super cute stickers. If you ordered anything like Halloween-y, we got these cute stickers. Let me show you. I have a package right here that has to go out in the mail, but look at these super cute stickers that we got. Happy spooky mail. So if you ordered anything like Halloween related, we put these on your packages. We got some really cute fall bags, like mailers, and we ran out. So I guess we just didn't order enough, but that's okay. We sent what we had, and then we switched back to our regular mermaid mailer, which is fine. But overall, the success of this update of this collection was so huge. And again, we're so appreciative to all of you for making it a success. And we're working on Christmas now. Our Christmas winter update will not be until November. I don't have a date for you yet. We haven't even finalized everything yet. So, but I will, of course, keep you posted. Follow us on Instagram, or join our Mermakers Facebook group, because we always post there about updates, sneak peeks, that kind of thing. So Instagram is probably the best place to stay up to date with things that we're doing or upcoming events or whatever. Okay, enough shop news. Let's talk some more finished objects. This is a pair of socks that I made for my son Ryan, and I did them, I guess you could say 2 at a time. I used the pattern called 2 heels and a toe. I'll link it below in the description box. And basically you knit a long tube continuously. You knit the heels on both of them, and then the toe, and then you're supposed to go back and do the cuffs. Now, I've talked about this quite a bit. So in the last episode, I said I had already started these when I found that pattern. So I already had one of the cuffs done. You can see I broke my sock blockers. They fell and the hooks broke on them. But they still work for blocking socks. So anyway, so one of the cuffs was done, cuff down, and then the other one I had to do toe up, basically, like you would when you make toe up socks. I don't particularly like the cuffs done that way on socks. Now, my question is can you really tell? The only way you can really tell, this one is the one that was done from here up. Just look how much looser it is. This is why I don't like knitting socks toe up, because I don't like the cuffs. And I looked up tutorials on how to make them as close to the way a top down sock cuff looks, and I just couldn't. I mean, I found a few things that people recommended that probably helped it from flaring out even more, because when you do toe up socks and the last thing you knit is the cuff, this part tends to flare out like this. And so I did find a couple of tutorials that helped avoid that, the certain ways that you bind off. But you can tell that they look different. Now, in the grand scheme of things, does that really matter? No. But I will say that was the one thing that I didn't love about. And it's not even has anything to do with her pattern. The pattern itself is genius to be able to knit everything at the same time and then just go back and do the cuffs. So I just don't think I don't like the way it's bound off. I think that's what it is. But I love the socks. The yarn was String Theory Colorworks. I think the colorway was called Exoplanet, and I used a contrast for the heels. So I really like the way they turned out, and I like the pattern. I just don't know if I will. I don't know about the cuffs, because I'm not a huge fan of knitting the cuff last. And I showed them to Ryan and he likes them. So I told him they'll just keep your feet warm in the winter time. My next finished object is the Musselburgh hat that I was working on. So last episode, I showed you guys this hat. I was about halfway, this is the cast on. I was about halfway through right around here when I showed it. And so I finished the second half. I used a Regia Perfect skein that I had, and I pretty much used the entire thing. I did have to cut it in the middle because if you remember, the Perfect has that yellow, the yellow yarn in the middle. That's like the waist yarn that shows you when you're supposed to start the second sock. Regia Perfect is designed to knit two identical socks, which makes sense if you look at this, because this is two identical sides of the hat. Well, they're actually not identical because, okay, so I started here, right? Yes. I started here. And so technically this from here down would be the second sock. So here to here, this patterning is the same as from here to here. I hope that makes sense. But look at even in the white areas, there's little bits of blue and pink. I don't know if that shows up, but there's little speckles all throughout. I'm going to put a picture up of me here wearing this because I don't want to put it on now. It'll hit the microphone and it'll mess up my hair. So, but what you do when you're done knitting this and you've blocked it and everything, you take it apart, not apart, but you take it from the halfway point and you fold it in on itself. This is the Musselburgh Hat by Ysolda Teague. She has a podcast, by the way. I just saw that the other day on YouTube. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to. So you just kind of line up the ends, and then you have a double thick beanie type of hat. I tried this one on, and it definitely is slouchy in the back, which I love. I'm completely fine with that. So it's going to look pretty much the same no matter which way I put it. This way, the brim is a little less white because there's more white up here. And then this way, there's a little more white on the brim and a little less at the top, which either way is fine. I went looking in my yarn stash, and I pulled out a bunch of Regias and things like this yarn that I had. And I was like, oh, these would make such cute Musselburgh hats. So if you have any of that yarn and you don't want to make socks with it, try it in a Musselburgh. I'm curious to know if any of you have tried that yet. This hat is so fun to make. It makes great gifts. I already have another one started, which I'll show you when I get to whips. All of the patterns and everything I talk about, if I can link them, they're linked down below. All right, so this last finished object is Olivia's blanket. I put it in this little hat box. Sorry for the microphone. But I put it in this hat box because this was a box that I had bought her one year for her birthday. And she left it here for some reason. I don't think she meant to. So I was like, well, I'm going to give her back this hat box and put the blanket inside of it because I thought that would be a good place to store the blanket. So I finished her blanket. Showed it on the live, but the ends were not woven in yet. But the ends are woven in. I've blocked it. Well, I soaked it and then I laid it out. And I think I got all the ends. I'll go through and do a check once more before I give it to her. But this was just a corner to corner blanket that I striped. I talked about it in length over the last several episodes. The pattern that I loosely followed was a baby blanket pattern. I will link it below. But I'm really happy with it. And I just striped it in colors that she said she was using in her room. If you're new here, Olivia is my daughter. She bought a condo out near her school, and her bedroom is, she said she wanted to use like golds and blacks and pinks and grays and things like that. So again, all the details are on the last few episodes, but I'm so happy to have it done. It's going tucked away in this hat box, and I will give it to her when I go out to her condo, which will probably be this coming weekend. So I'll take pictures. Something I forgot to say about Olivia's blanket is that I weighed it after I was finished with everything. And it weighs 472 grams. So it's almost 5 full skeins of yarn. And the size measurements are 64 inches by 92 inches. So it's a pretty good size. It's not meant to be like a bedspread or anything. It's very thin because it's fingering weight yarn, which is perfect for us here in Florida. And it's just meant to be like a throw blanket for her to use. All right, so let's talk about whips. I do have 4 whips. The 2 of them are brand new that you haven't seen. One of them is my pair of socks. I'm just going to show briefly because I did switch the bag that they were in. I switched over everything to my fall bags. So, and I may have shown you a little bit of that at the beginning of this episode. If not, I'll show it to you at the end. But I'm working on those cotton socks still from the Regia cotton, and I had finished the first one last time, and I've barely done anything on the second one. I did get it started, and I'm working up the cuff on 9-inch circulars, but as you can see, I've only got about 5 rounds done so far, but I did switch them over to a new bag. So that's the only sock I have going right now, which is crazy, but it is what it is. The other whip that I've been working on is the Anker tee by Petite Knit. I started this in July, but I hadn't worked on it since I started it. I only started it and worked on it for like a day. And then I picked it back up basically 2 months later. So I have made a little bit of progress on this. Now it's on these tiny 16-inch circulars, so you can't really tell much yet. But last time I showed it, I only had just like a few rounds done on the very top. So this tee is, I'll show you a picture of it. I'm sure you've seen it. It's pretty popular. It's the Anker tee by Petite Knit. And it has this really pretty like yoke of ribbing, basically. So if you don't like ribbing, like 1x1 ribbing, I wouldn't recommend this project. But it's not bad at all. I don't mind ribbing. I'm using a linen cotton blend yarn, and it's really soft. I love how it's turning out. I'm using the recommended needle size. I didn't change anything. Oh, and let me talk to you about the sizes, because I just went into that whole tangent about sizes earlier. So I'm making the size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but this one is a 43. The bust size measurements on this are 43.25 to 46.5. And there's no positive ease in this garment. So I'm thinking, since I'm a 46, this should be fine. Let's hope. Watch it be too small. So I've never made a petite knit pattern before, so I'm excited. So far, it seems great. It's very, easy to read the pattern, and I'm enjoying it immensely. So now that I'm done with my rocket tee, this has been getting a lot of attention, and I'm about to switch to a bigger needle, probably a 24-inch, because the 16-inch is just too bunched up. But you have to start with the smaller needle size, and then as you increase, you can go up in your length of your needle. It calls for a, let's see, the suggested needles are a 3mm, which is a US 2.5. And that's what I'm using. So I'm excited to get further with this one. The other two works in progress are things that you have not seen yet. But I did start another Musselburgh hat, like I was saying. So I'm still using my same project bag that I was using for the other one. So I've got this yarn. I decided that because I talked about this a little bit on the last episode, that I wanted to always have a Musselburgh hat on the needles, especially during times when I'm making gift knitting. So I figured I could probably crank out quite a few hats if I have one on the needles all the time. And now I have 3 Musselburghs, so I don't really need another one for myself. So I think from this point on, I started this second one with the intention of it being a gift, not necessarily for anyone specifically. I already have figured out who I'm going to gift it to. But when I started it, I didn't really know. So this is what the yarn looks like. It's called Yarn Bee. It's from Hobby Lobby, and it's called Must Be Merino Bright Blue. And it's like a blue. It is bright blue. It's almost got like a purpley tint to it, which is probably why I bought this yarn ages ago. Probably before I even learned how to knit, I bought this with the intention of, or maybe right as I was starting to learn how to knit. So 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Have I really been knitting for that long? I think so. Wow. I'll have to go back and double check, but it's been at least 4 to 5 years. Okay, anyway, so the color name is Bright Blue. The color number is 010. It is a 50% merino wool, 25% acrylic, and 25% nylon. It is super, super soft. So it'll make a perfect Musselburgh hat. The needle size that I'm using is a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. This is a DK weight, is it? Or sport weight? It's for 100 grams, you get 227 yards. So it's definitely a DK weight, which the pattern is really cool because you can use anywhere. I want to say like up to a worsted, but let me just double check. The yarn, it says heavy lace weight to DK weight yarn. Exact yardage will depend on size, gauge, and yarn used. So what's cool about this pattern is that it's based on your gauge. So you can use any needle size you want. You can use any weight yarn up to a DK. And I don't know why you wouldn't be able to use worsted weight, but the numbers here, I don't know that would match up, but you probably could even use like a light worsted as well. So I'm highly recommend the pattern if you like making hats, or if you like gifting hats to people. So here's what I have so far. It's not much. I've just gotten started working on the increases. It's going to be a great hat. It's very soft. I found out from a friend that an acquaintance of mine, actually she was a customer of ours, she's sick. She's battling cancer, and I wanted her to have a hat. This friend of mine said she was making her a hat because she's going through chemo, and I wanted to make her. When I was already making this, I was like, oh, this would be absolutely perfect because it's super soft, and she lives in a colder climate, so she will need lots of hats for the upcoming winter months. So that is who I am making this for. The second new cast on is in this fall bag. It's a 3 by the Sea bag. Love it. And it's a blanket. So I decided my birthday was on the 13th and I needed a birthday cast on. So I had pulled out a bunch of row 1 minis and I sort of lined them up. I'll try to put a picture up of them here, what they looked like lined up. I lined them up and I wanted it to be a fall colors blanket. And I was going to fade through the colors. I didn't want it to look like rainbow fall colors, which would be pretty, but that wasn't the look I was going for. So I started with green and I went through like a blue gray and then reds, I think maybe, and oranges. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. And then I go back to teals and I don't know. You'll see the lineup of everything. So I'm making the blanket called the Cozy Comfort Throw. It is by Molly Klatt of A Homespun House. Looks like this. And you use a fingering weight yarn held double with another fingering weight yarn. You can use a contrasting color, or you could, it doesn't really matter how you do it. You can make it scrappy. I think she intended it to be for Advents. I'm almost positive. Yeah, because she used 25 20-gram skeins of fingering weight yarn and 5 100-gram skeins of fingering weight yarn. And I'm just using a white yarn with, it's almost the same base content as our Amelia Gold Stellina, except it doesn't have the Stellina in it. I think it's just an 85-15 superwash merino nylon. So, and I'm pairing that with all of my row 1 minis. Right now I'm on the grayish, bluish gray section. I'm almost finished with that. So I've gotten through the greens. I think I used 8 colors, different color greens. Wow, this is all tangled up. So let me get this straightened out first so I don't drop anything off of the needles. What is the right side? Is this the right side? Yes. Okay. So here's where it's at so far. I'm through the green section and into the grayish blue section. More grays, I think, than blues. And I'm just knitting all the way to the end and knotting them together with magic loop. And I'm loving it. I knew when I finished Olivia's blanket that I immediately wanted to start another blanket. This is a gift for someone. And I can't say who. I'm sure she knows who she is because she's a part of this business and she watches the podcast all the time. So, and she loves earth tone colors, and fall colors are her favorite. So I'm making her a blanket. I'm really, really happy with how it's turning out. It's pretty much all I want to work on. Changing those colors. So you're supposed to change the colors. You're supposed to use 25 20-gram minis. Or 24, yeah, 25 20-gram minis. But I'm using 10-gram minis because my row 1 minis were 10 grams each. So I'm using basically double that. And I have plenty of them because I have a million of them. So Switching the colors is really fun. It definitely piques your interest. But even if it was 20-gram minis, it would still pique your interest. This is such a great project to use for advents. So I might have to use this in the future. Or if you just have a bunch of minis that you want to use. Really, really loving it. I'm using a US 9, which is a 5.5 millimeter. I don't know. I think the pattern calls for a US 8, which is a 5 millimeter, but I went up a needle size because this yarn is quite plump, and so I wanted to go up just a little bit in needle size, which I'm very happy with the fabric, how it's turning out. It's so squishy. I love it. I only have a couple more things to talk about. I have plans to make a pair of DK weight socks that I want to fade the colors in. Do you guys remember those socks I made with the Blossoms Over Tokyo yarn that we had, where I faded in? I faded the mini with the main color at the top, and then at the bottom. I'll put a picture up of them here rather than try to describe them. Anyway, I faded in those colors. Well, I thought it would be fun to do the same thing, fading in all of the colors. So I have all of these DK minis. Well, they're not minis. They were DK that I used with my shrug that I made, the DK shrug. I used my Avery Lane Creations subscription yarn that I was getting, and I made that shrug. Well, I had about this much left. It's probably a little more than 20 grams. I'll have to weigh them. Some of them are bigger than others, but I have these left over, and I thought it would be so fun to fade these into some DK socks and like just fade the colors in rather than straight stripes, like blocked out, like blocked stripes. I thought it would be fun to do a fade. So that will be coming soon, but I'm not casting these on until I finish those other socks, the cotton ones. Speaking of socks, I wanted to show these cute socks that I made last year using our Candy Cauldron colorway and our Candy Cauldron minis set. So if you purchased these yarns and you like these, go on the Crazy Sock Ladies YouTube or Instagram, and because she's the one that kind of came up with this cute little pattern of striping the socks on the leg and then again right before the toe. They just look so cute. I do want to make a pair of mittens. That is also something coming up. And I think I may use my leftovers from this rocket tee that I'm wearing and hold this double to make a pair of mittens. I have the pattern. Where did I put it? I got this pattern from Tin Can Knits. I'm pretty sure it was a free pattern. It's called The World's Simplest Mittens. And you can use fingering weight, DK weight, worsted weight, chunky weight. And it's toddler through adult, large. So it's toddler, child, adult, small, medium, and large. They're just a basic mitten. And I thought it would be nice to make some mittens for me for all those cold winter days in Florida, with fingering weight held double with the alpaca to make like a DK weight. So that is a plan I have. I'm going to put in a little clip here of me. So this advent that I have, I opened last year. It's from Murray Wool Goods, and it was so fun. I got her advent 2 years in a row. I got hers last year and the year before. And the year before, I got her advent on, I chose it to be on her yak sock base, which was like a yak merino blend, I think it was. And I made the scattering petals Hat by Dana Ray Makes, and I made the Scattering Petals cowl. I will link the projects, I will link their patterns below in the description box. This was so fun to make. I love it. And I have used this quite a bit in the winter. So that was one thing that I made with an advent, or two things, I guess. Then I got an advent, was it last year or the year before? I had another advent from, oh my gosh, who was the dyer? Story something yarns. I will try to find it and link it below. But I made this beautiful cowl. This is a pattern by Crystal T Knits, and this was another advent. And you made, I think it was like day 1 through 12, and then I went back 12 to day 1 because this was only a 12-day advent, pretty sure. I think it was a 12-day advent. Yeah, it wasn't a full 24 days. So, but you could go all the way 1 through 24 if you wanted to, if you had a full advent, or if you have a half advent, you can just mirror it back. This was a really fun pattern to make. I actually really loved this, and I would probably make this again. So this, I don't remember what the name of this was, but it was by Crystal T Knits. I'm going to show you that video of me getting that advent back out from last year. I had kept it in this box, and I kept them all in their individual bags, so I knew which order, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go in order on whatever project I made. So I kept them in their respective numbers, and so I lined them all up. It looks so pretty, and I'm not sure if I will keep them in order when I make something with these, or if I pull things that and fade things, or however I want to do it. I don't know. I may go in order because I really liked how the order looked on this. This advent was so fun and so beautiful. So I told you guys last time I would show you how it turned out, and it was really, really pretty. I do want to make that wrap that I showed you last episode. It was called the Polesden scarf, or the Polesden wrap by Amy Lowden. So I think I'm going to use this to make that with. I think that would be really beautiful. So I'm still in the planning stages, so more on that next time. I am planning to do Vlogmas this year, and so I have been planning some things out, and as far as like things that I want to talk about during Vlogmas and things that I want to work on, and also between Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady and Sherrie from Ollie and Bella, those are two podcasts that I love to watch. Between the two of them working on cross stitch things, I have been inspired to pull out all of my cross stitch stuff. So I just have everything in this little backpack type of bag that I use for a project bag. And I pulled this out and I was like, I'm going to go through all my cross stitch stuff and see where I'm at with everything, because I have some little things that I've gotten over the years and I've just neglected to do them. And I thought this would be such a fun time, especially during Vlogmas, to work on some of these things, or to at least finish some of these things. So maybe I could get started on them and then finish them during Vlogmas. So I'm going to pull everything out. Looks like I'm working on something here. I'm not sure what, because it's been at least over a year since I started. Oh, I think this was like a train or something. I'll have to look and see. So I've got that going. Was it this? No. But this is super cute. This is a little sampler called Gingerbread House 5. That's really cute. Country Cottage Needleworks. So my sister had given me a bunch of cross-stitch things for Christmas one year. Becky did. And so that's what I have saved in here. So it looks like I have some threads, some cross-stitch threads. This one is called Nutcracker King, the Nutcracker Sweet Collection. She wrote me a note on here. She must have given this to me for Christmas. She wrote me a note on here that says, this came from a cross-stitch designer on Etsy. Thought you might enjoy making it for your tree, because Becky knows that I love nutcrackers. So look how cute that is. And this is a kit. So it comes with the threads, comes with a needle, it comes with the beads and the little sequins, it comes with all of it. So this is Satsuma Street by Jody Rice. She's must be on Etsy. Finished size of this ornament is 2.25 inches by 5 inches. So that's a good size. The kit includes a color chart, metallic perforated paper, DMC embroidery floss, beads and sequins, tapestry needle, and finishing instructions. What else you'll need? Backing paper, thread for hanging, glue, and scissors. And it's so cute. It has a Santa Nutcracker, the Nutcracker King, Drosselmeyer, the Mouse King, and the Sugar Plum Fairy. So all the characters from the Nutcracker. So I'm going to work on this. I forgot that I had this. I also have two bookmarks. They're like a sampler type of bookmark. And one of them is Beauty and the Beast, and the other one is Harry Potter. These are so cute. This was also a gift from my sister. That's the Harry Potter one. That is the Beauty and the Beast one. And these are both from, well, this one says it's from House Elf Stitchery. And this one is from, oh, they're both from House Elf Stitchery, which might be a thing on Etsy. We'll have to look and see. So I have the bookmarks already, like, ready to go. These are bookmarks that have the cross stitch on them already, with that little finishing detail on the sides. So I'm going to make two bookmarks. Okay, now back to the thing that I was working on. It's probably in here. This thing. Let's see what's in here. Yes, it was the train. I knew I had a train. This is the gingerbread train. It's the same as this one. Well, not the same pattern, but the same maker. Country Cottage Needleworks. And so I have everything I need in here. I have all the thread and the pattern. So I have got to get working on these again. It looks like I started it and then stopped. because this right here is what I've gotten done, the little front of the train. So thank you to Crazy Sock Lady, thank you to Kay, and thank you to Sherrie for inspiring me to get out all of my cross stitch stuff again, because I'm really excited to work on these things, to have some ornaments to hang on the tree, and I might get into some other ornament making as well. I went down a rabbit hole and found some felted Christmas ornaments that you can make, that I might make on Vlogmas. I'm excited. I've been really enjoying planning out Vlogmas and all of the different things that I'm going to do during that time. I want it to be crafty, and I want it to be fun and enjoyable for not just you guys, but for me as well. I know Vlogmas for a lot of podcasters is very stressful. Mine is not going to be stressful. That's why I'm planning it out now, because the key to successful podcasting is planning, planning, planning. So I'm going to set mine up a little bit differently than I've seen others do. But again, I'm still in the planning stages, but I'm really enjoying planning it all out. It feels like it brings Christmas like a little bit sooner, and I get to enjoy the Christmas spirit over the next, few months instead of just right after Thanksgiving. So that is exciting. My acquisition is from my mom. This is a gigantic bag. She had started making me this bag last year. We actually had this bag in our winter collection last year, and she's thinking about bringing it back. So let me know if you guys like this print. I don't know that there would be, I don't know what sizes she would have. It would all depend on if she can get this fabric again. But this was the extra large drawstring that we had last year. And she used this really pretty purple fabric inside because she knows purple is my favorite color. So I have a feeling I'm going to move my blanket that I'm working on into this, because it's going to need a larger size. This thing is humongous, and it is perfect for blanket knitting or sweater knitting. So that is my only acquisition to show you. A few years ago for Christmas, I made my sister an Anne of Green Gables doll, an Amigurumi doll. This is what she looks like. Last time I was over there, I saw her and I was like, I have to show her on the podcast. So I borrowed her from my sister. The only issue that I had making this, or I didn't even have an issue making it, but I wish I had put something in to secure her neck, because she does flop over. And the pattern may have told me to do something and I just didn't do it, or I don't remember. I'll link the pattern below. It's a pattern that I got on Etsy. And she has all kinds of super cute doll patterns. But this is Amigurumi, so this is done using crochet. And I've done a few Amigurumis in the past. I've made a unicorn, and I've made a couple of other things. I'll try to find some pictures, and if I can, I'll put them up here. But this is Anne of Green Gables, and she's just so cute. Her sweet little face with her hair. And when I saw her, I was like, oh, I want to make some more amigurumis. So I remembered that my mom had bought me a pattern for Christmas that is a Nutcracker pattern. It's called the Nutcracker, a pattern by Miss Daisy. And this is, so there was a 3-pack of the pattern, like a pattern bundle. So there's this one with the snowman on his head. And then this one has a cupcake on his head. He's really cute too. And then this one's called the Baby Blue Nutcracker. So there's actually 3 different ones that I could make. And I want to make all 3 of them. So I have to figure out the yarn. It's 100% cotton yarn. Colors from the picture or the ones you prefer. So I'm going to go through and figure out if I have any cotton yarn. If not, I will probably be making a trip to Hobby Lobby or to Joann's or Michael's and securing the yarn for these adorable nutcrackers because I want to make these for Christmas. Well, that is everything that I have to share with you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me and to listen to me go on and on and on about projects and craftiness. I really enjoyed talking to you, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you got some relaxing time in, whether you were crafting or just sitting and having, some relaxing time. And I will see you guys again in 2 weeks. I'm going to try to get back to my regular 2-week schedule now that the update is done. Leave me a comment and let me know how the audio was for this since I'm on the microphone. I just had like a coughing spell, so I'm sure I sound kind of funny at the moment. I had to edit that out. But thank you guys again. Comment and let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you think of all of the projects. I just love hearing from you guys. I love chatting with you. It's such a great way for me to communicate with you guys. So I hope you're all having a wonderful start to your fall and getting lots and lots of making all of your plans for fall and winter, and just really starting to enjoy this season. I know this is a busy time of year with all of the holidays coming up, but it's also a time to sort of slow down and enjoy the cozy weather and just work on all of the cozy things. So thank you guys again for watching. I will see you again in a couple of weeks. Take care.